Our guest today, Ms. Patrice Harris, is from the Department of Electricity, or rather, SKELEC. Yes. And here she is going to discuss this with us in terms of the consumption of electricity and share some useful tips that will help us out during this dark season after, in terms of our finances.
Dark, but not in terms of light.
No, we won't be dark at all.
So welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It was interesting when I got the call to come and speak about energy conservation, because that means that SKELEC will get less money if we conserve more.
Well, good point.
But in any case, we really want our customers to be as responsible as possible in their energy use, because if you don't do that, you end up driving up a bill that is unmanageable at the end of the day. And we recognize that some customers allow their bills to skyrocket and then they're unable to bring down their arrears.
Yeah, that's
and so that is why we do preach the message of conservation. And particularly during the Christmas season, it is even more challenging. Why is it challenging? Schools are out and the children are at home. They're playing their PS5s, they're opening the refrigerator every 5 minutes. Right. You have a Christmas tree with lots of lights strung up outside your homes as well.
Let's stick up in there. So tell us about the extra energy, for example, with decorations. What can we do about something like that in terms of conservation?
Well, I recall from when I was a child and my father would put up his Christmas decorations, and he would put it up just the week of Christmas. And he will turn off the lights maybe at around 10 p.m., but on Christmas Eve, he will let them remain on overnight into Christmas Day. So I know everyone wants to have a nice, grand, beautiful looking home, but we have to be mindful of our energy use as well. As such, I will encourage, keep the decorations in terms of the lights on as close to Christmas as possible, and you don't necessarily have to leave them on all night, because that will really help you.
Things like timers help.
Yes.
Things like timers. What about solar power?
Well,
although I know that's not necessarily advantageous to SKELEC, per se.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Exactly.
Well, even as a company ourselves, we are looking into more renewable sources of generating energy, and solar power is actually one of those areas. This entire stretch that the Kim Collins Highway is on is going to be the home of the largest solar farm in the Caribbean region, and that has broken ground last year, and the work continues up until next year when you see some more predominant work being done. But in terms of solar, what we must recognize is that it's not always a situation where the energy can be stored. So it might not be beneficial in terms of in the evening. I know that there is some technology that allows for that, but not all technology. So that is why our greatest recommendation would be as close to Christmas as possible, not on for a long period of time, and not so much to keep it minimal, but look for the products that do suggest that they are energy efficient.
Okay. So what about year-round now? So that is when we have the extra lights, and, you know, some persons like to decorate and go all out. But what about during the year? Do you have some advice how we can also conserve?
Well, before we get to during the year, during the Christmas period in particular, you will recognize that it is much cooler. So it might not be necessary for you to run your AC overnight or for an extended period throughout the day. You might just want to use a fan. Some people say that it's so cold that they have to pull up their covers and turn the fan off. It feels like they're in North America. So take advantage of that and minimize your energy use based on that. There is also the fact that you're going to have more persons within the household, especially the children. We have to start ingraining in the children from a very early age. Turn off the light when you leave the room. Don't be in the refrigerator every 5 minutes, because that is going to send up mommy and daddy's electricity bill. So these, in terms of the Christmas season, that in particular is something that is of major concern for persons who want to conserve.
Jamie, I like her advice for the parents to speak to the children, but You know, sometimes we have to do a lot of talking.
Yes, and even children model behavior. So if it is that you as an adult as well, actually flip your lights off, plug out your appliances, they would recognize that that is what their parents do and that is what needs to be